Dr. Stephen Rose is president of Passaic County Community College. Good to see you, Dr. Rose.
Good to see you.
You had a great line right before we got on the air. I said, we've done a fair number of programs with some of your colleagues in the community college sector. And what did you say?
I said, that's where New Jersey's going to college these days.
What's up with that?
Well, you go back 50 years, most minorities, women, didn't really have an opportunity to go to college. Basically back then it was mostly white men that got to go to college. Community colleges changed all that. When we came around, all of a sudden, it was about access. It was about opening doors to people that never had the opportunity to go to college. So we're the new kids on the block, 45 years old in most cases since the first community colleges got there, and all of a sudden, it's boomed. It's great.
Describe your place, because the heart of your campus is in Patterson.
Yes, it is.
And describe the population, because when I was looking at the notes, I thought this couldn't be right. 1,800 of your students are single parents.
Yes, they are. Well, it was an interesting story. When the college was founded back in the early 70s, there was a fight in Passaic County. The fight was they had a plot of land out by the golf course in the suburbs, in Wayne, and they had this piece of land in Patterson. And there was a huge fight over where to put the college. And it happens, Bill Pasquale, who's the congressman in the area.
Right? Was he the mayor at the time?
No, his first public thing ever was on the board of trustees at the college.
Oh, really?
And he tells the story of the meeting that went till 2 a.m, where he got in there, he had 2 votes for the college to be in Patterson, and the rest of the trustees wanted to put it on the golf course. And by 2 a.m, he managed to convince everyone that we needed to put the college where it could do the most good.
Why is it so important that it's in Patterson?
It sent a message. It sent a message that we were going to open our doors to the people who needed opportunity. A lot of times somebody's 18 years old, or 30 years old, or 40 years old, and they made some bad decisions in their life. Even 18-year-olds who didn't pay enough attention to school. They're 18, they manage to graduate from high school maybe, and they have no direction. They're clearly not ready. Yet they understand that, to get anywhere today, you need some post-secondary credential.
You need it? You have to have it?
You have, and I said a post-secondary credential.
You don't say graduate, do you?
No.
What's the difference?
The difference is you need some training post-high school. In some cases you need a PhD. In some cases you just need a few classes. We'll have a networking certificate in computers. Student who is bright comes in, takes 10 classes from us, concentrated in networking, they can go out and get a job. Without that, they couldn't. Today, medical coding, the whole healthcare with the Affordable Care Act, things are changing. There's a whole new coding system that's out there right now. We have to retrain people who learned this 20 years ago. When you go to the doctor, they put that diagnosis code. Those are all changing.
Yes.
Well, it's places like community colleges, so we have a coding certificate. People come in. If you don't want a full degree and you want to just learn a skill, learning coding, you can work for hospitals, doctor's offices, insurance companies, all those places.
It's interesting you mentioned healthcare. Otherwise, the Affordable Care Act, whether you call it Obamacare or not, President Obama has made it clear what he believes our goals should be, right, when it comes to higher education.
Absolutely.
By 2020, the president said America would once again have the highest, or should in fact, once again have the highest proportion of college graduates in the world.
We fell behind.
What's it going to take?
It's going to take innovative programs at the colleges. It's going to take ways of helping students get through. So for example, at the same time, rules have changed on financial aid. It used to be that a student was eligible for 18 semesters. Now it's only 12 semesters of full eligibility. That's to get a baccalaureate. So
who disproportionately is hurt by that?
The poorest students and the students who need help to get them up to college level. So, not every student who graduates from high school is ready for college. So sometimes we have to give them developmental classes, or they may need to learn English as a second language. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to accelerate their programs. If a student is motivated, so we've got these things we're calling boot camps now, where students will come in the summer, sometimes it'll take a whole semester. We'll give them intensive studies. Unfortunately, a 3-credit college class, you remember from your college days,
Sure.
It meets 2 hours and 40 minutes a week. If you're way behind in math, 2 hours and 40 minutes a week for 15 weeks isn't going to do it for you.
What will?
A much more intensive program.
boot camp?
A boot camp. And we're having tremendous success. Now, we don't start the financial aid clock until they finish these boot camps. So we put them in so they're ready to go into a higher level. And if they could get into a higher level, that means they're not going to go through that cycle that unfortunately so many students go through is, they had trouble for the first 18 years of their life with schooling. We put them in and automatically think it's going to change. No, we need to change. And we need to find, if this student didn't learn well in a traditional classroom setting, maybe they need one-on-one. Maybe they could use computer-aided instruction. Maybe they could do it in a variety of different learning styles. We need to figure out if that student didn't learn well up to this point, what can we do to get them to learn well?
Before I let you out of here, you've said that really in some ways what your institution, what other institutions like it, particularly in urban areas, provide is, whether it's the last chance, but a second chance at the middle class.
Well, it's a path to the middle class. It's probably the easiest path there is to the middle class right now is to get an education. And if that education isn't available elsewhere, we'll get you through. And that's what's different about us.
26 years you told me you've been.
I've been at Passaic, yep.
17 as president?
Yep.
Your passion comes from?
For being, interesting story. About 12, 13 years ago, it was icy, took a fall outside the campus, fractured my shoulder. They take me to the hospital, St. Joseph Hospital in Patterson. I was in a bit of pain at the time, and I'm in the emergency room. One by one, the nurses are coming in the emergency room. I know you. You're from the college. And the pain is getting worse at this point. And then they take me for X-ray, and it's the students from our radiography program who tell me I graduated from the college. And I tell this story often because it's when I realized the impact that this college had on the community. That's when I figured it out. That's when the light bulb went on for me.
How proud were you?
Oh, from that day on, I got it. I understood how important we were to what was going on in this community. And
making a difference.
It's great, absolutely.
Another 26 years.
We're going to try.
Dr. Stephen Rose, President of Passaic County Community College. I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you.